Welcome to the Real-Time Storytime by Robert R. Ricks. We will get this thing started pretty soon. What I need for you guys right now is just to hold tight. We need to allow people to show up because this show is nothing without the viewers. You see, I require keywords or phrases that you will give me, and I will craft a story based off these keywords. I have about 2.5 minutes to create the story. And then after I create the story, I have to see if I got all of the keywords in, at least 10 of them. We try to have at least 10 to 14 keywords, and I attempt to get all of them in, but if I can get at least 10, it's a good day. Now, I know you guys are going to have some really crazy ones. Now, I do need to warn any new viewers. The existing crew that comes here on a regular basis are filthy, nasty motherfuckers with foul language. If the language is going to be a problem, you might want to check out now, because these stories, 9 times out of 10, are extremely vulgar, sometimes violent, oftentimes very weird, and sometimes funny. Alright, we'll get this thing started pretty soon. Hang tight.
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
What's up, sitches? It's your boy, Angry Jackalope Rob Ricks, Robert R. Ricks. This is the Real-Time Storytime show. I'm a little bit tired. I'm dog tired, but I think it's a perfect scenario here because I got sent this SmartAir. It's supposedly some SmartAir from Silicon Valley. And it says a 1 second burst of this for every 100 square feet. I'm in roughly, I don't know, 10 by 14 room. So, shake it up and let's blast it. 1,000, 2, 1,000. There we go. That should give me a lot of smarts, right? So we will see what's up. See if this SmartAir helps us with the story, right? Okay. All right. So the way that this works for you podcast folks is, I've got some viewers in here right now. It seems we got about 5 in here. We've got Vixen, we've got Backwoods, we've got Paula, we got Garen, we got Lyra, and we've got Stock and Wolf. So what we're going to do is you'll hear a tone that will let them know to start sending in keywords, and there'll be some music. I will then notate those keywords and then get clarification, figure out what the hell they are, if there's something kind of, odd that I'm not familiar with. And then I will have, about 2.5 minutes to figure out a story, and then we will rock and roll it and see if I can actually pull a rabbit out of the hat. I've been pretty good lately. I've been able to, get some stories done and stuff like that. So we will see what happens. Let's see. Is there anything I need to talk about beforehand? So there will be, let's see here. If I do this, so that is the chat. And then, you viewers that are watching, when the keywords are being used and I can remember to push this button, you'll see that happen. For you folks on the podcast, you're just going to have to remember whatever the keywords are. So let's go ahead and start grabbing us some words here to see what we're dealing with for tonight. So
Please submit your words now.
Okay. And I thought there was like a... Oh, it's this one, right? Yeah, that's right. So you guys can start throwing some... Oh, backwards. Kevin Spacey in a gay bathhouse with a one-armed midget. Boom. Shit. Fuck it. We'll try it. I mean, the worst they can tell me is to take the video down, right? If they say, it's derogatory, you're really putting me in potential for some hot water when you deal with that, because that particular demographic there is by far the most vocal, and I don't know if I want to deal with that shit, but fuck it, I will try to use that in a story. Alright, so first one we got is Kevin Spacey in a gay bathhouse with an one-armed midget. Kevin Spacey in a gay bathhouse with a one-armed midget. Backwards. Okay. Let's see. Wolves, unicorns, and eagles. That's a little bit random. Okay. Wolves, unicorns, and eagles. Hot ones, last dab, hot sauce. Hot ones, last dab, hot sauce. You are really digging that show. Absence of heavenly grace. Absence of heavenly grace. Little Caesar's Pizza. Little Caesar's Pizza. Little Caesar's Pizza. Let's see. Dragonfly balls on fire. Okay. Dragonfly. Do they have balls? Dragonfly balls on fire. That could be a little interesting. Let's see. Hey, Paul, I was going to say blue-eyed Timberwolf. Why not? I can still put that in there. Let's see. SmartAir, smartass. Okay, we're gonna put that in there. Okay. Let's see here. So, Lear, let me know if you still want to do that one, because I could do a blue-eyed Timberwolf if you want to put that in there. But I'm just gonna keep going for right now. Black Pit of Hatred. Ooh, that's pretty ominous. I kind of like that. Black Pit of Hatred. SmartAir, Smartass. Okay. SmartAir, Smartass. Let's see. What is Ulefone Armor 6, Garen? Please clarify that for me. Make sure it's not a typo. And Lyra, let me know if you want to put that in there on your thing. Okay, backwards. I watched later. Phone's acting up for some reason. Okay, yeah, later's. I'm gonna put armor 6. If you can explain to me what the Ulefone is, I don't know what that is. And Lyra, I haven't heard back from you yet, and I need a 10th one, so I'm gonna go ahead and say, yeah, we'll go ahead and do the blue eyes Timberwolf. So I'm okay, blue eyes. So let's say blue-eyed, because blue eyes Timberwolf is going to be a little bit hard for me to phrase, and I know I'm going to screw it up. But if I say blue-eyed Timberwolf, then I can roll with that. That'll be a little easier for me. Let's see. Ulefone. Oh, Ulefone Armor 6. Okay, that's something for cell phone. Ulefone is the brand, a rugged smartphone. Okay. All right, so what we've got here is Kevin Spacey in a gay bathhouse with a one-armed midget. We got wolves, unicorns, and eagles. Hot ones, last stab, hot sauce. Absence of heavenly grace. Little Caesar's pizza. Dragonfly balls on fire. Black pit of hatred. Black. SmartAir, Smartass. Ulefone Armor 6, and Blue-Eyed Timber Wolf. Very interesting mixture of words there. So what we're going to do is we will turn that off. Then we will come here like this, and I will start figuring out the story right now. So let's see here. Kevin Spacey in a gay bathhouse with a one-armed midget. Wolves, unicorns, and eagles. Hot ones, last stab, hot sauce. Absence of heavenly grace. Little Caesar's pizza. Dragonfly balls on fire. Black pit of hatred. SmartAir, Smartass. Ulefone Armor 6. Blue-eyed Timberwolf. Blue-eyed Timberwolf. Unicorns and eagles, huh? Absence of heavenly grace. Okie dokie. So you can see I have some notes right down here. Again, the words are Kevin Spacey in a gay bathhouse with a one-armed midget, wolves, unicorns, and eagles, hot ones, last dab hot sauce, absence of heavenly grace, Little Caesar's pizza, Dragonfly, balls on fire, black pit of hatred, SmartAir smartass, Ulefone Armor 6, and blue-eyed Timberwolf. I have a loose idea what I'm going to do here, but I am not 100% sure how it's going to do it. See, that sauce is 2 million Scoville units. It was hilarious. See Gordon Ramsay eating it. Yeah, I think I saw that episode. All right, take this headset off. Okay. And again, if I can remember to push the words, I will push this when it's being done. And for you folks listening to this on podcast, you're just going to have to remember those words. Kevin Spacey in a gay bathhouse with a one-armed midget, wolves, unicorns, and eagles, hot ones, last dab hot sauce, absence of heavenly grace, Little Caesar's pizza, Dragonfly, balls on fire, black pit of hatred, SmartAir smartass, Ulefone Armor 6, and blue-eyed Timberwolf. Okie dokie. Without further ado, let's get her started. Let me take a sip of my beverage real quick here, which is a root beer, which is probably a bad idea because I know I'm going to burp at some point. But it's okay. There it is. All right, got it out of the way. All right, so let's get it started. The wind blew through my hair, and it was cold. There was a little dampness from the sprinkling of rain, and I sighed to myself, grumpy and a little bit anxious. I stood in front of a gate that had been unlocked for me, but even though the gate had been unlocked, there was a feeling of foreboding that crept deep into my spine. I knew intrinsically this was a extremely bad idea. But lately, YouTube had taken a nosedive with my viewers, and it was something that was a little irritating, to say the least. I had been on YouTube for the better part of 5 years, working my ass off, trying different things, and I had watched other channels just blow up around me, covering all sorts of odds and ends. My agent, a friend of mine, if I needed an actual agent, but yes, I actually had an agent, was the one who suggested that I dabble with the paranormal, which to me, again, sounded like a horrible idea. Fortunately for me, I was, how would you say, agnostic, atheist, didn't believe in God, and if there was no God, then there was no demons, and if there was no demons, there was nothing that could really hurt me or scare me. And basically, people that would go inside of haunted houses had a preconceived notion of what to expect, and thus be scared shitless and made for good YouTube. Now, I wasn't scared, but I also wasn't an idiot. I knew a lot of times inside of these older homes and houses and things of that nature that code probably wasn't up to snuff, so there was some actual danger that I would have to contend with, but I was fine. It was okay, and I knew, kind of, what I was up against. So I looked at my cell phone, and it said 3:30 in the morning. Pretty late, for most people, but I spent a lot of time up. I didn't sleep very well. It was just one of those things. 1 or 2 hours a day, pretty much all I needed. And sometimes I'd sprinkle those through the days with cat naps. 15 minutes here, 20 minutes there, 15 minutes there. It worked out well, but as I said, it was late. So I was surprised when my Ulefone Armor 6 phone rang. I picked it up on the third ring. Yeah. Hey, are you sure you're going to do this, right? It was my agent. Yeah, Bill, I got this. This is not a big deal. I'm going to go in. Most of the gear is pretty much ready to go. All I have to do is just set the drones off and we're off to the races. Okay, so I got an advertiser for you. and I think this is going to be good. It's kind of fun. It's very whimsical. It's a family-friendly thing. It's basically SmartAir from Silicon Valley. SmartAir from Silicon Valley, what is that? Oh, I don't know. It's some kind of an air that some rich guy there had a kind of an epiphany that all of these folks were, a lot of folks were rich coming out of Silicon Valley, and so they thought, why not package it up and call it SmartAir? Huh. Okay. Well, do they have, anything else for like the brilliant air? It's SmartAir, smartass, and no, they just have the SmartAir, so that's what you're going to have to use. So do me a favor, when you're done, if you look in your bag, there is a can there. I need you to do some B-roll footage, kind of put it up in different places, make it kind of scary or something, maybe make a joke about ghosts being smart or something, just something so that we have a little bumper that we can roll with the ads. Yeah, okay, fine, whatever. Is there anything else? You got maybe a real advertiser for me, something more corporate, a little bigger? Well, like, who would you like? I don't know, Little Caesars Pizza or something? That would work for me. No, Little Caesars has not come knocking on a door, but I'm sure once you get to the, sizes of some of the other channels, maybe something can work out. But for now, you got SmartAir from Silicon Valley. Okay, fine. All right, so you heading in? Yeah, I'm heading in. Okay. So I hung up the phone with him. I thought about it for a second, and then I called him back again. Hey, what are we thinking about views on this? He groaned. I don't know. I've done some comps and stuff, and a lot of the scary, shows, they do things, and sometimes it's hit or miss. If you capture something on film that's kind of scary or kind of fun, that has a potential of getting, viral, but, you got to get something exciting, And I sighed and I groaned. I said, the concept of me going inside of the scary old building with the intent of finding something truly horrifying or actually supernatural is about as exciting as Kevin Spacey in a gay bathhouse with a one-armed midget. Hey, different strokes for different folks, man. You never know. Yeah. All right, fuck it. I'm going to turn my phone off, put it on at least silent while I'm inside of here. I don't want any phone calls or anything else while I'm in doing this because that's just going to break my flow and that's going to be irritating. All right, man. Have fun. I shut the phone down, put it on silence. I hung the phone up, I should say, and then put it on silence and then proceeded to go through the gate. It groaned in protest as I pushed it forward, but with a little effort, it actually opened, and I was kind of surprised at how much effort it took. I wondered, when was the last time somebody actually stepped foot in this fucking place? Well, nothing to it but to do it. I pulled the duffel bag and a big pelican case behind me, walked up the pathway, which was covered by leaves that were blown about in little mini tornadoes that kind of were a little bit foreboding, but at the same time, somewhat whimsical, somewhat fun. I got to the front door, put all the gear down, fished inside my pocket, pulled out a large, ornate key. It looked like something that belonged in a museum. Again, I wondered, how old is this fucking house? I stuck the key in, turned it. It opened. I swung the door expecting it to groan and creak and make a whole bunch of noise, but to my amazement, it just silently swung open as if the hinges had been oiled and maintained perfectly. Maybe somebody has been here. I walked in, closed the door behind me, opened up all the bags, took the gear out, laid them in front of me, started to activate each one. All of the drones lit up and started to hover in front of me. Made a lot of noise. The acoustics in this place was going to be a problem, I knew. I set up a couple of cameras real quick, and then I set all the cameras on the drones to record. These were cutting-edge drones. I knew I had a good 5 hours worth of 4K video that it could capture. And I smiled. This is good. All of them were equipped with night vision. All of them also had proximity alerts. So if anything fucking moved other than me, which I stood in front of each camera and painstakingly erased myself from the image as far as detection. It knew who I was. Facial recognition. Gotta love the AI built into these bad boys. I knew they would do their job. They would hover around and they would record, and if they saw me, they would ignore me. But anything else, it would let me know, and my watch would beep 3 times, and it would then tell me the area I needed to go investigate, which I thought, this could be fun. I figured, though, there would be rats, there would be cats, there would be some other things, maybe the occasional owl or something, and that could also make for some very fun jump scares. But I digress. We'll see what happened. So I started to walk, and then I pressed my watch, and the drones set off. The house was pretty big. There was multi-levels. The first set of stairs I saw right when I walked in were off to my right and left. 2 drones went up. 1 went to the right. Other went to the left. 1 drone shot straight forward. 1 followed right behind it. And 1 kind of hovered at my side, probably about 3 feet away from me. So all in all, I had 5 of these drones set to go and work. I looked and thought about it, took out my notebook, and I put on my headlamp, looked down, lit up my notepad, and I jotted some notes. This was going to be extremely boring, I thought. Why couldn't I do something exciting? Get some celebrities on, have them eat hot sauce, hot ones, last dab hot sauce style shit. Watching celebrities break down to their base form, cursing vehemently at how much pain they were in. No. I had to be a dumbass and walk inside of a old, decrepit house that purportedly was haunted. Lucky me. So I walked forward, thinking, if I were haunted, where would I go? And then, as if to answer my thoughts, there was a slight click to my right. I walked forward, looked to the right. There was a door. Fun. I thought about calling my agent back and asking, hey, dickhead, do you have somebody here to help with the story that you failed to tell me about so that you could capture an authentic aha moment? But then I just shook my head, because if he had done that, that was actually pretty fucking brilliant, and it would be authentic. So I decided better to be surprised, but I did smile. I looked at the drone nearby me, and I looked, and I made my face very serious. Okay, guys, I just heard a sound. It came from this door. We're going to investigate. All right. Heavenly Father, look after me. And I crossed myself. I know, hokey. There was no God. But it seemed appropriate. A good theater, if you would. So I opened the door and started down. As I started to walk down the stairs, I noticed they creaked and groaned under my weight, and part of me was nervous. I wasn't big, but I wasn't small either. And as I stepped, there was a lot of groaning. I reached out to the sides to see if there were any railings. I didn't look, I just reached, and I did feel a railing on my right-hand side. I grabbed it, and my hand slid along it, and it felt very textured. Felt very woody. I decided, fuck it. I glanced, and it was. It was very old. Had a kind of a wet, woody smell to it. I continued walking down. I went down, and I went down. And about 2 minutes down, I was like, what the fuck? As I stared forward with my headlamp full blazed, 1,000 lumens, I noted, oddly enough, that the staircase continued straight as far as the light would go. It was at that moment my heart began to pound. How come I didn't note this right when I stepped on the stairs? Granted, I was preoccupied thinking about the stairs groaning underneath me, but obviously I had looked forward, right? I turned around and looked back. The stairs continued back behind me for as far as I could see as well. Oh shit. I looked at the drone, which was still there. Okay, guys, I need you to see this because this doesn't make any sense to me. I passed that door, and this is a continual feed, and there's timestamps and everything. So when we go back and show this video, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. But I stepped in, I walked for a couple of minutes, and now I'm starting to look down, and the stairs continue as far as I can see. And if you look back there, and as I did a motion with my hand, the drone spun around to show the stairs behind me. It seems like the sumbitch goes back that way as far as it goes forward. This is really weird, guys. I'm not quite sure what to think about this, but this is really weird. But I decided, because I was intrigued as well as scared, to continue down the stairs. So now, with focus, I motioned again. The drone went back to follow mode. We started walking again. I walked for what felt, and I do emphasize the word felt, at least 20 minutes. It could have been longer, it could have been shorter, but it felt about 20 minutes. Now, if you take that in consideration, that's a lot of damn steps. I got to the bottom and I saw the room opening up, and I was nervous because the room itself was relatively small, maybe 5 foot by 5 foot. But what unnerved me was it was empty. It was void of anything except a very large mirror. And this is the scary part. It was covered with like a canvas sack. That made me nervous because in addition to the canvas sack was a silver rope that was knotted. Not once, not twice, not even 3 times, but 4 times. Big, thick, gnarly knots. I thought to myself, do I look beneath the canvas? So again, I turned to the drone. All right, we've made it to the bottom of the stairs. I don't know how far it is. I can look at the pedometer on my wrist and kind of count the steps later, but it was a while. It was a while, and now we're in a small room, and there is this very anomalistic mirror here that is a little interesting. I don't know if I'm supposed to do anything with this or not, but it does seem interesting. So I am going to investigate this. Here we go. So I motioned. Again, this is a separate motion, separate hand gesture. The AI on the drone understood it to mean come in close, hang above my right shoulder, almost as if a cameraman was sitting there, approximately 1.5 feet above my shoulder, angled down to get a optimum shot of my hands working at the knots. I went and I began to unravel the knots. I got through the first knot, and there was a sound very similar to that of a woman exhaling. And I'm not sure why I say a woman, because I would think a man or a woman who exhales would sound the same, but for whatever reason it felt feminine. So there was an exhale. And I paused. I quickly looked around. Nothing was there. I noted it to the drone. I just heard a fucking woman sighing. I really hope the audio was captured. We'll see. I continued. I got to the second knot, third, fourth. Fifth knot was being a bitch, but with much effort, I did it. I got it untied. The silver rope basically fell to the floor, and it was thick. It was heavy, but when it impacted the floor, it made no sound. No faint little thunk, nothing. That was a little unnerving. I pulled off the canvas, and there was a beautiful silver mirror. The most amazing artwork I had ever seen etched into something my entire life. It depicted rows and rows and rows of figures in different states, and as I studied them, it almost made a story. I motioned. I wanted the drone to get in close. The drone went up along the left side, went to the peak of the top, came back down along the right-hand side, hovered back behind me again. I looked up at the drone. This is amazing. This is beautiful. This thing has to be priceless. I have never seen anything like this before in my life. I don't know why anybody would have abandoned this. And then I knew the answer. I just didn't want to admit it to myself. I looked at the mirror and I said, absent-mindedly, aloud, unless this bitch is cursed or something, then it would make sense why somebody would leave it down in the basement. But what kind of a curse could it be? As if to answer my query, the mirror's surface shimmered like water. I looked at it and noted my reflection was there, but the drone was absent. I looked up at the drone. I looked back at my reflection. What the fuck? My reflection smiled. I wasn't smiling. That unnerved me. I looked at the drone, and I lifted up my watch, and I keyed in its camera to see if it was seeing what I was seeing. It was. Okay, this is exciting, I thought to myself. I turned again and looked up at the drone. The reflection in the mirror is me, but is not showing the drone, and it is showing something that I'm not doing. I want you to pay attention to the mirror. And then I made the motion with my hand. The drone went and focused on the mirror, and I nodded. I looked at my reflection. Hey, handsome, I said to myself. It nodded, as if to answer back. Holy fuck, I said as I looked at it. You're not me, are you? It shook its head. What are you? It motioned for me to come closer. I shook my head. Fuck off. I'm a lot of things, but I'm not a fucking idiot. This is outside of normal. I'm not going to get anywhere near you, but we could talk. Myself looked at me, smirked, and nodded. It pointed at my watch. I looked at my watch. I looked at the reflection. The reflection also did not have the watch. It started to dawn on me. So technology is not reflected inside of the mirror. It nodded. Okay. So what does that mean? Again, it motioned for me to come forward. It was transfixed on the watch as well as the drone. Then an idea dawned on me. Hang on a second. The drones were fast. I knew they were fast. I wondered, though, I had closed the door behind me. Or did I? I wasn't sure. Maybe I didn't close the door. Maybe I had left that open. I wasn't sure. I went to my watch. I pressed the homing beacon. I knew all of the drones were going to beeline straight to my location. And I waited. Within 30 seconds, I could hear the faint sounds of the drones coming, and I smiled. Yeah, I got an idea, and I waited, and the drones were around me, and I thought, wow, good, the door had been opened somehow. I motioned for drone number 1 to go as close to the mare as it could without actually impacting the mare. It hovered and went forward, and then when it got within range, the mare reached out and snatched it. Now, there was a drone inside of the mare with my reflection. I looked at my watch. It was still broadcasting. I could see it. I could see what it was seeing. It was showing me and the other drones, staring, slack-jawed, and surprised. I looked at my reflection. So I could come in there. Something in the eyes smiled at me. It nodded. I thought about it. something, the wiser part of me, said, dude, leave. Now. So, I decided, fuck it. I got enough footage. This is fucking interesting. I'm out. So I turned. The stairs were gone. I was in a room, but there was no stairs. I turned around and looked at the mirror. My reflection held up a finger and was like, nope, you are not going anywhere. To which I sighed. Okay, so I guess you're telling me the only way out is in. It nodded. I paused. I need to think about this first. I need to see what I can see. So as I studied the etchings around the mirror, I noted that in addition to figures that were cloaked and also armed with blades, there was a disproportionate amount of animals. There were wolves, unicorns, and eagles, as well as deers and some snakes. But the wolves in particular were much larger, bigger than the other ones. In fact, at the very top of the mirror stood a massive wolf, and that wolf had what I could only imagine to be antlers. That was weird, but not as weird as the fact that stairs had vanished. I was being forced to enter a somewhat interesting mirror, and I fought hard to not say magical or demonic or cursed or anything else. I just told myself, this is interesting. Roll with the punches. Fine. I'd roll with the punches. I looked at the mirror, and I jokingly said, mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? To which the mirror, the reflection side, chuckled and pointed at me. Oh, really? I'm the fairest? Why, thank you. That's very nice of you to say. I'm a little nervous, though. I gotta tell you, I don't really know what to do here. Again, it motioned for me to come forward. I really, really, really did not want to go into the mirror. I didn't care how interesting or how fun or how supernatural all of this was. I didn't like it. I didn't want to do it. I was being forced. I don't like being forced. I looked around the room, hoping to find something that I could use to bash against the mirror, to find some leverage to make it bring the stairs back. But again, the room was empty. There was nothing there. Even the rope and the canvas bag that had covered the mirror initially had vanished. So nothing but the mirror, me, my drones, were in the room. I could just sit and wait, I said. I have people that are going to come and look for me. The mayor smiled, shook its head. No, seriously, I'm only supposed to be here tonight, and I have arrangements. I've got the key and everything from the owner of the house, and I have permission to be here, but they know that I'm supposed to report back in tomorrow. Again, my reflection shook his head, smiled, motioned again for me to come in. Yeah, I think I'm just going to wait. I'm just going to sit here because this is feeling really bad, and I don't walk into magical mirrors. To which my reflection got angry, got irritated, got frustrated, I guess. It was done trying to bait me in. It was done waiting. The mirror began to expand, and it began to lengthen and extrude forward. I backed away from it, but eventually I hit wall. The mirror, it seemed, was going to have me no matter what. Okay, stop. Just stop. I will go in. I will go in of my own volition. You just stop. Okay, you're freaking me the fuck out. I will go in. Free will of my own. I will go in, okay? Just stop. The mirror went back to its normal position, And my reflection smiled, waiting. Fuck me, this sucks. This sucks fucking balls. This sucks really fucking bad. It looked at me and it waited. Fine. I walked in. There was a strobe for a second, and I expected much more, but there wasn't. Suddenly I was standing in front of my clone, and it looked at me, and it smiled. Well, I was wondering if your ass was going to come in or not. Okay, so I'm here. Now what? Well, now you're going to look at that, and you're going to see what's what. You're going to record everything, and then when you're done recording everything, you can leave. Okay, so let me get it straight. You're a magical mirror, and somehow you're a reflection of me, and you're telling me that I'm supposed to come in here and record stuff, and after I'm done recording, I can leave. He nodded. Simple, right? I guess. But why? Why not? Okay, that's not really a good answer. I can't help but feel like there's more to this than what you're telling me. Well, of course there's more to this than I'm telling you, but I'm telling you how you get out of here. Record everything in here, and then once you're done recording, you come back and talk to me. I'll open the doorway and you go right back out. Okay. So, what am I supposed to record? Well, for starters, you see him, and he motioned, and way off in the distance, probably about, I don't know, half a mile away, I saw a shape, something, maybe, I don't know, a dog running around. And I nodded. Yeah, I see something out there. What is that? Oh, that's one of the things you need to record. Okay, what is it? It's a wolf. It's a wolf. Yes, it's a wolf. You need to record that. And then there's also going to be a couple of dragonflies nearby that wolf. You need to record them as well. Okay. Well, I don't really need to do anything. I can do this. So I held my watch up. I focused one of the drones off in the distance. I targeted the wolf. And then I said, so you're telling me near the wolf is these dragonflies? Yes. Okay. So I took the other two drones, and then I targeted them in the same general area as the wolf, but put them on a circular record pattern. So what it would do is it would go close to the wolf, and then it would start to go 360 and kind of rotate in circles and just record everything kind of panoramic. It was like a quasi-panoramic mode. I pushed my button on the watch, the drone shot off, and my clone sat there smiling. He's like, this is exciting, isn't it? And I shrugged. I don't really know what to make of this. This is a little bit weird. I'm not quite sure what to think. And he looked at me and he smiled. It's important that you be the one to do this. I'm important for this. Why? Because I needed somebody special. A person like you with an absence of heavenly grace. What the fuck does that mean? You'll see. Just do the recordings. Something in his eyes, something in his smile, I really started to hate this guy. I knew it was me, well, a copy of me, but I didn't like him. I sent those drones, and they got closer. And then, as it got right about 5 feet away, I looked at my watch, and I was amazed at the size of the wolf. There were some rocks and there were some trees nearby. And unless those rocks and trees were miniaturized in some weird way, this wolf was easily 2 to 3 times larger than any other wolf that I'd ever seen before. Now, granted, I had never seen a wolf, a live wolf, in the flesh, but I'd seen them in museums. And the ones inside the museums were pretty damn big. So, to give you a better perspective, let's just say this thing was probably about 4 sizes bigger than your typical German Shepherd. Maybe that will help paint the picture better for you. As the first drone got close, I noted that the wolf, and somehow I knew it was a timber wolf, had the most brilliant, beautiful blue eyes I'd ever seen before. It was a blue-eyed timber wolf, and it was the eyes. There was something magnificent and gentle in the eyes. Now, pretty much only the eyes, because everything else on that sumbitch was fucking horrifically horrifying. The snarls, the teeth, the raised fur, the claws on its feet as it was fighting with something I couldn't quite make out with the camera that was 5 feet away. The other 2 drones, I sent them in close, set those to macro. As they got close, I couldn't really come to grips with what I was seeing. It was the oddest thing I had ever seen. Again, these were larger than normal and a little different. And I don't know how else to describe them other than large dragonflies with what appeared to be testicles, balls maybe, but they weren't normal. They were emblazoned. The whole form of them had a red shimmer to them, but the balls underneath seemed to be on fire. So I was staring at a dragonfly, balls on fire, attacking the wolf. Now, the other thing that was odd about these particular dragonflies were that the tail end of them, they didn't end with just a long tail. The tails actually had hooks at the end, similar to a scorpion's tail. And they were flying in and attacking this wolf. And the wolf was fighting. The wolf was fighting for its life. And part of me was terrified by this. This was a horrific scene. I wanted desperately the wolf to win, and I didn't know why. I wanted it. I needed the wolf to win, but I couldn't figure out what was going on. More dragonflies showed up. The dragonflies started stabbing and attacking this beautiful wolf. And each time that the wolf was stung, there was a wound, a festering, nasty, cankerous wound that would appear at the sting spots. And I looked horrified, and I looked at my reflection, who just smiled in delight. It was enjoying this. And that made me angry. There was something in my stomach. Started there, and it tendrilled up into my heart. But in my stomach, there was a black pit of hatred that was growing, deeper and darker and colder as I studied my reflection, who was so enamored and happy with this poor wolf being decimated. A few minutes had passed. The wolf laid there, disintegrating, the wounds eating away at it. I realized it was some form of necrotic process, magnified, sped up exponentially. And then the man looked at me, the reflection looked at me. That's good. Call your drones back. I did. The drones came back, hovered near me. He smiled at me. Well, I think when you go back to the world and you share with them what you've seen here, you share with them your video, and you explain to them the significance of it, then I believe you will go viral, as they say, and your channel will be much, much larger. I looked at it. What are you? He smiled. Something that you don't believe in, which is very, very good. He motioned, and the mirror appeared again. He pointed at it. Leave now. Go back. Make your videos. Share it on YouTube. But one thing before you go. Turn the drones back around and show the world what the mirror is about to show. I did as I was told. I stepped out of the mirror. I turned. I set all the drones to look at the mirror, and my reflection smiled, and it said, "What you've seen here with the death of the wolf is a sign of what is to come. And to all of you who do not believe, I will see you shortly. And to those that do believe, it won't help you, because it is now my time." I watched as my reflection shifted, and a beautiful man stood there. He winked at me. He motioned, and the stairs were there again. But the stairs are very close, and the door was there. And he smiled at me. "Logan, thank you." I said, "For what?" "For not believing. I'll see you soon." And the mirror went pitch black, and the silver around it tarnished and decayed, and it corrupted, and it disintegrated, and the mirror was gone. I looked at the drones. I don't know what to make of this. I don't even know if I should even post this. But what the fuck? I turned, went out the door, and to my amazement, as I got outside and I called my agent, 6 days, 6 hours, 6 minutes had passed from when I had last talked to him. And he said, "What happened?" And I cried, "I don't know." He said, "Do you have the footage?" "Yeah." "Good. You're going to do the bumper on the SmartAir?" "No. I'm not going to do a bumper on SmartAir. After this video, I'm done." I hung the phone up. I looked at the sky, and I saw the clouds darkening, and I knew. All right, so that's where I'm going to end that story. Let's see. Kevin Spacey in a gay bathhouse with a one-armed midget. Wolves, unicorns, and eagles. Hot one, last dab. Hot sauce. Absence of heavenly grace. Little Caesar's pizza. Dragonfly. Balls on fire. Black pit of hatred. SmartAir, smart-ass. Ulefone Armor 6. And blue-eyed Timberwolf. And I kind of had to end that where I had to end it, just because I was starting to get emotional. The story started to get little too ominous for me. So anyway, that is that story. I think it's going to be, as far as title on it, I'm not sure. Something about, I don't know. I have to think about it a little bit. But that was a kind of a crazy story. I really didn't know where it was going to go. And then as we got down in there, I was like, oh, the Dragonfly balls on fire. Originally, I thought that was just going to be really silly. I don't know what the fuck that was going to be. And then as I started picturing them in my head, I really started kind of tripping out about it. And it kind of suddenly morphed into the flying scorpions of things like Revelations, right? So, and I tried to make it, I wanted to make a kind of a scary story a little bit, but I still struggle with things of horror. So I think though this was an interesting one nonetheless. So did the SmartAir help me out with this story? Well, it's funny. My mind was racing. I did have a lot of stuff going on. Now, whether or not SmartAir actually works or not, or if it was placebo, because I am fairly susceptible to placebo effects. But and I did blast a lot of the SmartAir in here, so I don't know what they put in there. Maybe they put some acid in it. I don't know. But anyway, it's a fun concept. I'll do a full review on it at some other point here. But yeah, as far as the real-time story time, I actually thought it worked out pretty good. Even at Kevin Spacey in a gay bathhouse with a one-armed midget, I think I found a way to insert that in there in a way that wasn't necessarily really bad and just tried to make it like a facetious commentation on a comment on weird things that could possibly excite somebody, to make it kind of, silly, I guess. So I think that worked out pretty well. And the fact that Hot One, Last Dab Hot Sauce, that's another YouTube show. And so what I wrote for my notes was, Ghost Hunter gets more than he bargains for in an old house. And then I wrote his name as Logan Stevenson. So you could see those notes didn't quite translate 100%, but at the same time, it didn't really deviate too far from that loose outline in the first place. So all in all, I think it was pretty good. And I don't know if SmartAir works or not, but it is kind of a fun concept. So it says this is showing that people are more creative and more attentive. So I definitely was trying to be creative, and I definitely was attentive. So thank you guys very much for the claps and everything. I appreciate the shit out of that. If you guys really like this, go ahead and share it. Also, remember to let people know they can watch all these episodes on the realtimestorytime.com. Let's see what else. It'll be up on podcast tonight as well. So there's always a way for you to kind of expose people to this. And, the more people we get in here, the more interesting words we'll get, more variety, and stuff like that. We're averaging about 10 to 11 keywords. Did I get that right? I guess I did get that right. I hope I got that right. So, that will give us more keywords and stuff like that to add more complexity. I think also the other thing we'll do, if you guys want to start throwing some limitations out, like, when we did Harry's Situation, Brian had thrown out do a werewolf next week. And then there was another time before where he said a camp horror story. So start thinking up some ideas if you guys want to start... next week. Actually, there won't be next week. That's the thing I got to talk about. So next week there won't be a real-time story time, but there'll probably be some other videos. Instead, I will be in Vegas handing out copies, interesting enough, of Harry's Situation. So I will be giving out copies of that story, putting them in different locations for people to find, just all with the effort of trying to get people exposed to the real-time story time. So I'm going to be walking around with gear on and stuff like that, and hopefully, a lot of people, as they're looking at it, will be pulling their phones up and looking at realtimestorytime.com and stuff like that. And so hopefully we can start to get people being exposed to it, and then start to get some more traction. But that is it for this show. Thank you guys very much. I appreciate you coming on Sundays and hanging out. But I will be back the following Sunday, and we will continue everything going forward after that. But for now, that is going to be it. You guys have a wonderful day. Be safe out there, and be careful. And a story about storming Area 51. Possibly. We could do that. We could do that one probably. That could be fun. And it's kind of relevant, right? So anyway, that's going to be it for now. I will be safe. And as I was going to say, keep your eyes out and avoid those dragonflies with the flaming balls, okay? Great balls of fire. All right, guys, that's it for now. I will see you guys next time. Adios.